Okay. Madam Clerk?
Yes, 10:01.
Very well. Good morning, everyone. It's past 10 o'clock, 10:01. Got the meeting for Polk County Commissioners Court, August 12th, 2025, in the Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. So at this time, I'd like to ask all of you all to please turn off any devices, mute your cell phones, all that. And we would like to ask Kenneth Plattner from Providence to lead us in prayer.
First of all, we'd like to thank the church for allowing us to come down here. We bring you our greetings from Providence #1 Baptist Church up in Leggett. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Father, we come in the name of Jesus this morning, realizing what your word says. Your word says, Father, that my people which are called by my name will humble themselves and pray. Seek your face that you will forgive our sins and heal our lands. And Lord, we acknowledge you today that we need your help. We ask you to watch over all the employees of this county, the judges, the mayors, the commissioners, and all the employees, the police and sheriff department, the fire department, and everyone that's employed. We just lift up the name of Jesus today because of who you are. We just praise your name, Lord, for everything that you're doing, the things that you have done, and the things that you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody sign up for public comments?
Yes, we have Billy
Linda, you want to hand that to him? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Mr. Lambeth, you are here to complain that the county officials are not enforcing laws.
Yes, I'm gonna ask y'all's help in getting the sheriff's department to enforce the law. I live at Lakeside Village, we got geese, they poop in on the parking area, my driveway, and I took care of it for years. Christmas Day, I was assaulted by a deputy sheriff that said he was police. Thrown down on my driveway, locked up, put in jail. Since then, the geese are still there. I've called the sheriff's department numerous times. They've done nothing. And I'm asking y'all for help.
Okay, have you had meetings with the sheriff as well?
Strictly on the telephone with animal control. We got this statutory law here that is supposed to cover those geese. But the sheriff's department has not enforced. They say they tried to trap them, but the geese were smarter than they were and got away. And they got a plan. They always got a plan. They have had since January.
Well, I would encourage you to go ahead and make an appointment with the sheriff to discuss it.
Okay.
And then, just keep him involved in the conversation.
So you want me to meet with the sheriff?
Yes, sir, he's an elected official, and we don't have any authority over the sheriff. But he will be happy to visit with you at your convenience.
You can always talk to the rangers.
Well, that's my next step, to get y'all to contact the Texas Rangers. I was assaulted, and that's a federal law. So I'm 84. And he used excessive force. Me and my hands had to put the handcuffs on, and next thing you know, I'm laying on the ground. So,
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lambeth.
thank you. Where you want to meet? Should I leave right now? Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Lambeth. Okay, informational reports. We're going to start with number 1. We have a proclamation for Polk County Jury Appreciation Day, which will be August 25th. The Polk County District Clerk has designated August 25th as Jury Appreciation and requested a proclamation. Well, come on down, Miss District Clerk, and get your proclamation.
You're fine, that fine.
We're not gonna treat our district clerk any differently than anybody else.
Hey Shelley, you wanna join?
Come on. You don't wanna be out here?
We've never done that.
We need to.
Thank God.
1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, appreciate
Good
it.
job.
Oh, you're over there, you sink all the way to the floor, it feels like. Okay, item number 2 on information reports, House Bill 1522 update, effective September 1st, 2025, and this affects us and all of the elected officials. Effective September 1st, 2025, House Bill 1522 has amended the Texas Government Code to increase the amount of minimum notice required under the Open Meetings Act. So instead of the current 72-hour requirement, agendas must now be posted at least 3 business days before the scheduled date of the meeting. So beginning in September, agendas for regular scheduled meetings must be posted by the end of the day on Wednesday preceding the meeting. So that's almost a full week before the meeting. So as a result, addendums can no longer be posted after 10 a.m. on Thursdays, and only if no holidays fall within that 3-day window. So if a meeting falls on a Tuesday and there's a county holiday on the preceding Friday or Monday, the agenda must be posted no later than Tuesday. So it's, those of you that complain about what a crunch it is, the crunch just got worse. So we're gonna have to have that information in a timely manner. So plan accordingly. It affects the auditor's office as well, it affects all of us.
But we'll get our court packet a day earlier too.
No,
Yeah.
no, you won't. Because we're gonna be scrambling to get that other stuff done for Austin first. So no, you will not be getting your court packet early. Old business. Discuss and consider any and all necessary action regarding bid 2025-23 for purchase of 2 motor graders for Road and Bridge Precinct 4 with trade-in of 2 12H VHP motor graders to be funded by Precinct 4 fund balance. Commissioner Cassidy?
I've got one that, I'm gonna make a motion here that we approve it to get it passed for one. The second one, I don't know yet, it could be another month or 2 months before I get it. We're working on trying to get one price that we agree upon.
Okay, so which one are you taking, or are you gonna table again?
Know what you mean, which one?
You said you're gonna do it for one, right?
From Doggett Machinery for
Okay.
$185,000.
Okay?
$43,000.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're accepting Doggett Machinery Services. The bid was $185,000 per vehicle, offering a $43,000 trade-in value and including a 90-day powertrain and hydraulic warranty. Comes as a motion from Commissioner Cassidy.
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Robertson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, new business, a consent agenda. We have an addendum on 5 in the amount of $382,221.90. Is there anything anybody wishes to pull from the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion to
Second.
approve, Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Cassidy. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, approval of personnel matters as follows. Personnel action form requests were submitted by department heads since last meeting, and review of any authorized emergency hiring. We have no
I'm sorry.
Emergency hires, or what's that?
I'm sorry.
Well, we have no emergency hires, and everything else was included in your agenda. We did have a late resignation that is not included on here, and that is our environmental enforcement officer. So you will be receiving that one later. So I need a motion to approve the personal action. Okay, Commissioner Dubus, second.
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, discuss and consider county and district clerk request for hotel occupancy tax monies for the County and District Clerk Association of Texas, Region 7, the Fall Conference. Our clerks are sponsoring their clerks Region 7 Fall Conference, and they would like to have it at the Polk County Commerce Center on October the 2nd, 2025. Obviously, the participants will be staying in area hotels and spending money in the area. They're requesting assistance with a $1,000 fee to rent the Commerce Center for this meeting. The money is available, and this is one of the few ways that we truly can use the hot monies, because it's supposed to be for tourism or for people that are staying in our local hotels.
I'll second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Review and consider approval of county investment policy as presented by the county treasurer. This is an annually required item. No material changes have been made to the policy, and a copy of the proposed investment policy was included for your review. Terry, do you want to approach the court?
There's no changes from last year. There was no accounts added or anything, so it's just
All is well.
it's all.
Okay. Motion to approve, Commissioner Dubus. Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17, discussion, consideration, and appropriate action regarding settlement terms with Purdue and certain of its affiliates and the Sackler family and Sandoz Incorporated and Alvagen, Amneal, Alcatel, Hikma, Individor, Mylan, Sun, and Zydus. And authorizing this office or other authorized officials to execute this settlement for participation in release forms regarding settlements in the matter of the opioid multi-district litigation for the county and the matter of regarding national prescription opiate litigation, MDL number 117 MD 0284. So in connection with the opioid litigation matters, Haley and Olson were our attorneys that were hired to represent us in the settlement case, and they now have 3 additional settlements for approval. They would like for us to go ahead and approve all of them at one time, so they're not going back and forth with the court, and that will streamline it. So that will be for the names listed. These are similar settlements like we had with Johnson & Johnson, CVS, Walgreens, Kroger, et cetera, from the prior years. And the participation amount that we will receive is the same. And so we would like to move forward. The deadline for the Purdue settlement and Sandoz is September 30th. And we would like to get all the releases back to them before October the 8th. And we have a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Robertson,
Second.
second Commissioner Dubus, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 18, discuss and consider proposed solar farm plan review fee schedule as presented by the fire marshal. Our fire marshal, John Fugate, has requested consideration. A copy of his request is provided for your review. The current schedule does not address solar farm applications, despite us having several project applications recently. But the range and size is from less than 100 acres to more than 1,000 acres. And they are based, obviously, need special considerations or unique considerations to make sure that they comply with emergency access requirements and placement of control stations, inverters, and electrical shut-off locations in case of emergency. Our fire marshal is here. You want to come up and address the court? He has two options, and he can tell you the advantages or disadvantages. Option A would be a flat rate determined by site size, and option B would be more site-specific, but would take up more of his time.
Okay, as the judge was saying, it's come to our attention in our office, we're tasked with doing plans reviews for new businesses in the county. And I'm on my fourth, possibly fifth solar farm application in the county. We have one that's been in existence since I took office out here in the Segno area, Richardson Road area back here. That's a little over 3,000 acres. Okay, and then I have some smaller ones that are coming in 100 acres, and then I have a couple proposed that come in between those two sizes. We have some standardized fees that we charge for business inspections and plan reviews in this county. We did not take into consideration solar farms because our fees are based off the size of the structures that are being built in these projects. Solar farms don't actually have large structures to recoup the time and effort put into the plans review as we do on some of these other projects. So what we're proposing, I've researched some of the other counties on what they're doing with these type of properties and those sort of things. And they have two options we have here. They can either be real site specific on size, amount of inverters and panels and those sort of things that are going into the project itself, or we can come up with a basic flat basic plan review and inspection size for a flat rate type situation for up to so many acres, and then we could have some add-on fees for as the size increases over that minimum fee. So my office, we have to make sure that there's egress for emergency personnel. Everything out on this solar farm is an energized thing. I am not sending my firefighters in there without knowing where the cutoffs are for this electricity to secure this power, these sort of things, because these are unmanned facilities, okay? So there's a lot that goes into this plan review. I have to make sure that these things are in the right places, that they're accessible, and that they're known to the responders that are coming to this area. So we've come up with this. I recommend that we go with the flat rate fee for each site due to the complexity of the plan review and the site evaluation.
Any questions?
If you're not familiar,
That's option A.
Option A is the flat
Yeah,
rate.
flat rate, yeah.
We're looking at a base plan review for $500 up to 1,000 acre site with a $25 fee per each additional 50 acres added onto that for the size. Option B would be more site specific. It would have a basic plan review of $300, but then we would go with the battery storage units, how many they have on site. We would charge $150 per unit, and how many inverters they have on site. We would charge $100 per inverter. Okay, so that would take a little bit more, be more site specific and stuff like this. I'm saying we could probably get away with just doing a flat fee, and that would be my
But
recommendation.
you go with flat rates, so what happens if somebody comes in 800 acres?
Well,
They still gonna pay $500 flat rate?
it's up to the 1,000 acres, that flat fee, and then it's added on more than that if it goes larger than that facility.
I got you.
Either way, it's gonna require someone to go out there, so.
Okay.
Receive nothing else from the solar farm.
Yeah. So moved.
Second.
With the flat rate like you want.
Commissioner Perkins, Commissioner Cassidy for option A. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion Motion carried. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to discuss the nuisance abatement issues. Obviously, we do not have an environmental officer here today. So we received multiple complaints via phone calls, via emails, photos, displaying it, blah, blah, blah. And I don't particularly blame these residents. So, because in some cases, I do think that people are going out there and dumping things or are being paid to allow trash to be dumped. All of you received some photos. Let me see if I can find my photos. And these are true locations that currently exist in this county. And the truth of the matter is that even if we do not have a environmental officer, we can still pursue this through the JPs. The JPs kind of quit because they got more focused on structures, which was at the request of the court. But look at these things. I would not want to be that person's neighbor, I can tell you that. And so we have got to clean up. We have money that has been designated in the budget where the general fund will provide 75% of the cost to do that, to clean it up. And I understand your staff don't have time, but we can contract with people, we can find vendors. We used to have some vendors that did this type of work, and get some of these places cleaned up. So 75%, you would have to follow the process that we currently have with the JPs, and follow the process, place a lien on that property, because I guarantee you, if I'm being paid to let you dump your garbage on my property, which then impacts all my neighbors, well, if I start getting fines and have a lien placed on my property, now you've got my attention, because I probably don't wanna lose my property over someone else's trash. So we have got to do something.
So they tried to find these people, write them a ticket, and that didn't work?
Well, because they won't clean it up. And I can tell you, I went well, Guyleen and I both attended the one on the cameras. The first 10 minutes, that is what that man talked about. He talked about trash, he talked about garbage. All over the state of Texas, they're having the same problem. And one of the things he said is that the statistics show that giving these people a ticket and taking them to jail doesn't work. That you're going to have good information, law enforcement is going to have to get involved, and the commissioners are gonna have to get involved, and just contract someone to clean it up, but put a lien on that person's property for the amount that it costs to clean it up.
But we must attend to different classes, because I've been to quite a few of them, and I'm gonna tell you, every class that I went to, and environmental, and talking to law enforcement and stuff like that, they said that you go out there, you write them a ticket every single day. When it hits a felony amount, they're gonna find a way to clean that up and pay for that ticket.
And then what?
Huh?
We've had.
They're gonna clean it up, and they're gonna take care of it.
No,
We've
sir.
never done it. We've always pushed it through the courts, and it's always been like that, and it's never come to.
No, sir, we've had people in our jail over environmental cleanup. It has never been successful in Polk County. And when we went and listened to that man, everything he said made perfect sense. That if you do not put a lien on their property, you can keep going and going and going. But there's not a judge in this world, there's not a DA in this world that's gonna say, keep them in jail, keep them in jail, keep them in jail, because they won't clean up the garbage in their yard.
Well,
And we've done that, we've been doing that.
I've been dealing with, on two different scenarios, people that live in a house and that they own it, but they have no money, they have no revenue, they can't clean it. The people that rent a home, you get hold of that homeowner, he usually evicts them, he gets it cleaned up. I
Okay.
got people in Signal, it's a 45-minute drive to that landfill, one way. And one little mattress that cost them $54 to throw away. I'm picking every day out here in Signal area, trash. And some people would throw it, if it was in their backyard, they'd throw it out the front door. But there's a lot of them, if we got those
Okay.
containers back at these stations, they would take some of them.
Okay, so the point is that regardless, it's the property owner that's responsible. So if you place a lien, okay, if you place a lien on their property, now they have to pay for it. Now they have to pay for it. If the commissioners want to start getting a dumpster, right, available, that you pay for mattresses to get tossed in, that's fine too. All I'm saying is that we cannot, and we have tried your way. We have tried the tickets. We've sent people to jail for it, and they stayed there 3 days and they left.
Not on felonies.
Well, I've.
Sometimes they take care of it. I've been in law enforcement for 20 years. I
Well,
know,
then-
so I've been to these classes and they say, hey, do not push through the courts. Best thing to do is write them tickets sooner or later. They're gonna get felonies and they're gonna take care of it. They're gonna find a way to take care of it. Now,
Well, then
that's
I-
my experience and my talking to every instructor that I've been to.
It has never worked in Polk County. It has never worked. We have made every effort to make it work. If you and the sheriff wanna get together and figure out how you're gonna work that out, because it is going to. I'm throwing you under the bus. But the point is that there's a mechanism in place. And so why are we gonna put someone in jail, go with felonies, send them to jail where we don't have space to begin with? There's a mechanism in place and we just need to follow that mechanism. The money is there. If there are other peripheral issues, okay, like the landfill being too far away, if there are other peripheral issues, then we've got to eat this elephant one bite at a time. So, we need to do something about trash that can be gotten rid of.
Well, a lot of them start, they dump their back at these stations, and they pay, and not everybody will go there, but some will, and it will help.
Okay,
To get them back there. Republic has took this away from us, the trash, it's ridiculous what I'm having to pick up out here
Well,
constantly.
and that's
The
my
trash.
point.
But if
Right
people
now,
just throw it
right
away-
now, this is what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I've
Okay.
been there.
Do you have a contractor
Yeah.
that will go clean that up? Not your guys. Do you have a
I got one
contractor?
time.
Well, no, none of your guys have time. Do you have a contractor you can call? Then follow the process with the JPs. Send out all those warnings. Hopefully we don't get to the felony stage. Send out all those warnings, issue all those tickets, but we have got to clean up the trash.
Doing a lien on somebody's place is one thing. And if it comes to that, I don't have a problem, with stuff like that. I don't have a bit of a problem doing that. But I do that while I'm doing that, but not trying to make it convenient for somebody to throw their stuff away.
Yeah.
I can get a garbage dumpster once a month, but I know like Jerry Cassidy, when I'm cleaning, I don't have time to do it next week. I gotta do it today or tomorrow while I'm doing it. So it's nice to have that dumpster
Well,
there handy for me.
then if that is what you wanna do, move forward with that. But my point is, we cannot, first of all, this is different than mattresses, old boats. You know, people throw everything off a bridge.
Yeah.
Lord knows, we've got enough tires, you know, that we could do whatever we needed to build if you could use tires. But my point is we have got to start somewhere, and it has to start with all the plastic sacks that are flying all over this county and going from my yard to yours to the next. So the mattresses is a whole different discussion. If you want us to review that information again, then we can. But we need to be willing to pay Republic what it costs. And they have the same problem all of us do, which is staffing.
They already got stuff.
I'm just telling you,
They just thought their trucking might cost too much money to move it.
Well, and you know what? That means that it costs us, and then we get complaints because they are short on staff, and then they can't have anybody there. And so the original contract with them very clearly stated that that was not a landfill. Okay, that's not a landfill, it's for household garbage. If we wanna change that, then we can move forward with researching that information and changing it. But that was not the contract. The contract is for household garbage.
When they sit right here, and they pop off, so then they get away without saying. Their main request was somebody couldn't pull in there with a trailer load of stuff, that they should take it to landfill, and I voted, I agree with it, they should take it to the landfill. If they got a trailer load, especially handyman people and stuff doing things.
There's a lot of that.
But somebody just got one recliner or one mattress or something, they're not driving all the way, not from out here to see.
Okay, this is the problem with people. You start out with one recliner, then it's 2, then it's 12, then it's 16, then it's all my neighbors. Then we changed out all the mattresses in the house. And so that is the problem. The problem is that those were not set up to be a landfill. Those are for garbage waste, like your kitchen sack, pitching it in. That's what it was, the original intention of those collection stations. That's why they're called collection stations. But again, if that's something that the county needs to consider on how to move forward with mattresses and sofas and tires, you know, the Polk County Recycling Group did a tire collection event that was great.
It was great,
That was wonderful. And so if those are the kinds of things we need to do, well then let's move forward with doing those things.
You know, I have that twice a year, have the cleanup days, and they're always very successful.
Yeah.
And I think these guys do too, so.
Yeah, I know, it's right.
You know, so if those are the kinds of things we need to do, that's fine. If we need to modify the way we're doing them, that's fine too. But we have to start somewhere.
Well, I say, I have talked to a couple of the JPs and stuff like that. They wasn't aware that this was gonna be on the agenda and stuff, and they've got things going on right now. But I say, hey, let's try to get with them, say, hey, what do you want? If whatever they say works best for them, then we'll just work.
Well, they were involved in the conversation. They were involved in the
No, no, but there
conversation.
was supposed to have been a meeting with all of y'all.
No, let me finish.
Yeah, let me-
There was a meeting with all of you all, and that's when the JPs left and were not happy because they felt like that it had been strictly reduced to buildings. So all of these conversations have been ongoing, and every elected official receives an agenda, and so everybody knows what's going on. And these conversations have been ongoing. Now, part of it is, we have got to clean it up. You all tell me how you wanna do it, I'm just telling you that there's money that was built into the budget, and it has not been utilized in several years. And there's money in a line item that you all can pay for 75% of the costs that you incur. And when the lien comes back, then you get made whole and the general fund gets made whole. But it has not been utilized.
Well,
So, y'all need to let me know, because you all have the authority. We provided you with the health and safety code. We provided you with our environmental enforcement, which was developed by the JPs. They are the ones that developed it.
well, this deal's already in. I mean, we can already do these.
Right.
Yeah, so.
So that's my
I don't know
point.
what the argument is.
So why are we not doing it? That's my question.
Well, I tell you, in my precinct, nobody, the environmental officer never brought me anything.
Well, and okay, here's part of the
I've
problem.
been there 16 years and ain't never.
Yeah. Oh, they did, you cleaned up that station right down the corner.
Took me 16 years.
I
You know,
know,
so don't.
but
you know
that's
what I mean?
progress.
So
Okay,
maybe we need
here's
just a
part of
better
the issue.
environmental officer.
Okay, well, maybe we don't need that. So here's part of the issue. Part of the issue is that we are, the environmental officer, and this is one of the areas that I think needs to be rectified, is the environmental officer should have to take the complaints from that precinct to that JP and present the information to the commissioner at the same time. Because part of what has been happening is the environmental enforcement officer takes the issue over here to a JP in a different precinct, other than the precinct.
Why would he do that?
Well, because they were given that flexibility. And there are some people that do not wish to get involved in it. So I think it has to go to the JP of that precinct and to the commissioner of that precinct.
Works for me.
So that you at least
I believe
know.
So also, I mean, I don't, because that seems like that'd be the correct pathway.
And that was a pathway that was discussed. And then if a JP chooses not to hear it, well, then they can officially pass it off to someone else. But then at least there's a paper trail for the commissioner to follow. Because that's not a change in policy, but that is an internal procedure that could be established to make sure that you all know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, with this is, this is all voted on back when we did the building, so it means we can do it. But like I said, nobody's ever brought me anything.
Okay, then we will make it an internal procedure that the JP will receive the complaint of that precinct
That's fine.
with the commissioner.
Well, I have two or three places, like more than that I'm aware of. You can drive around and see something like you have with photos, no problem. But I got a lot of recliners or mattress or trash laying out on the side of the road. You don't have no information to put a lien on those people. You don't know
And
who dumped it or anything.
and I understand that, and that's why I'm saying that's a completely separate issue, right?
Not to me, it's not, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's trash.
It's trash, we need to get rid of all of it.
And we got plenty of.
But you gotta, but that has to be handled in a different way, because there is no structure, there is no one you can hold responsible. And so we will have to come up with other ways. And congratulations, I think you're now the Waste Management Committee Chair, Commissioner Cassidy. Okay,
Good job.
Talk myself into that.
yes, you did. Worked out well. That won't be wrong. Okay, now let's talk about the budget. Received tax assessor collectors 2025 FY 2026. No new revenue and voter approval tax rate calculations and verification of collection rate. The tax rate calculation worksheet was included in your packet for your review. The calculated voter approval rate is 0.598659 per $100 valuation. And the certified collection rate is 96. That was what was in the original budget. This budget that we're presenting today, that we're discussing today, is based on a tax rate of 0.5986 and a 97.5 collection rate. Tatum? You wanna come up here and address the court, or are you okay with that?
I'm good with that.
You okay with that? Okay, anybody have any questions on that? Okay, I need a vote to accept the tax assessor collector.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Robertson.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 21, consider any and all necessary action regarding public hearing on the proposed tax rate. The rate that has been used to build the draft for FY 2026 is the 0.5986, and which is the no new revenue rate would be 0.56607. but is lower than the voter approval rate. So the rate will increase our total tax revenue by $2,181,931, and $843,237 of that would be revenue from new value added. So to propose a rate that exceeds the no new revenue rate, then we will need to take a record vote to place a proposal to adopt a specified rate on the agenda for future meetings and schedule. It's too late for us at this point to accept a rate for a higher than the voter approval rate. So we will move forward as it is. So, any questions on that? Okay, let's go ahead and go to your budget books, and then I have information. Huh? You still want your vote?
I would prefer a vote on that. And
We will do a call
We do
vote
need
on
to
that
do
one.
it, so we need a motion and a second and then a call vote.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to accept the fact that we're going with a 0.5986. I'll make the
That's not-
motion. Robinson?
That's not gonna take us above our 3.5%.
Yeah.
No, sir. We're tapping it, but we're not over.
Okay.
I have a first motion.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're gonna do a call vote. Commissioner Purvis,
Approved.
Commissioner Cassidy,
Approved.
Commissioner Dugas, Commissioner Robertson, approved. And myself, approved. Okay. Now let's talk about budget development. Okay, first of all, we have the calendar in there with the budget deadlines now that we've had to move. But if you'll go ahead and open to your first page. You'll see the changes that were made in the values. You're also going to see the collection rate got changed to 97.5% of the middle of the page. Then you've got the different changes in the proposals. The debt service fund rate, current, and the delinquent. So there were some minor modifications that were made involving changing the collection rate to 97.5%. So then on the bottom of that page, go back to the calculating the road and bridge precinct funding. And so what we are proposing is the target balance, total expenses, the $816,711.84 increase from the prior year. It's the same, nothing has changed in terms of the formula. Precinct 1, 22%, precinct 2, 23%, precinct 3, 27%, and precinct 4, road and bridge, 28%. Any questions on that? There's some minor modifications. Okay, those same modifications are reflected basically on page 1. Under 114. Which is your revenue page. I don't have the capital, where do I have the where do we have the capital projections? They're in front. Okay, I don't have my capital projections, go this way. Back up one page. Sorry, I went to go through the capital projections. Now push them up. Okay, on your capital projections, we had a sizable increase for the jail for $750,000, the jail and maintenance have just struggled and struggled and struggled. It's been a never-ending process out there. One of the things that has happened is majority of those generators out there are proprietary. So then that means that every time one of them breaks down, then somebody has to come in to fix them from elsewhere, not from around here. And they do not allow for our maintenance people to touch them. So right now, is it 3 out of 5 that are down right now, Dawson?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so right now, 3 out of 5 are down. Generac said yes, they would come, but then they don't. So it's just been back and forth, okay, with that. So what Grady has found is a very oversized generator, I would call it, that has the capability of running the entire structure. But that means we would have to rewire the whole thing, we have to redo everything and bring in these. It's kind of a generator similar to what's on the tower. Part of it is, we're gonna have to get away from proprietary IT, proprietary generators, proprietary everything, because, and especially like during emergency management situations, if you think we can compete with Harris County on getting someone's attention to come fix something, it's not gonna happen. So, we've put it on capital projections for now, so that we can really take a look at it, and if that's the direction that we end up going, then at least we have the flexibility built into our budget.
Would we wanna go with just one generator at the jail?
That's, it would be 2.
It would be 2 big ones, instead of just one?
That's one of the concerns that we've had, we've talked to Grady about it, he's gonna be looking at that. The generators that we have.
Sheriff,
now-
can you step up here so the mic will pick you up
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
record?
So those are some of the concerns that we've had, the generators that we have now, just, like the judge says, just, they're failing us and, end up getting us in a bind with the state. Grady has the projection of the one generator, and we kinda talked to him about that if we get that
Some
one
happens to it,
generator,
then
and
you're-
something happens to it.
Your
then what?
history, you got.
So he's looking to see what, what we can come up with different.
We would have to have a backup.
Yeah.
And that's, so I don't know if we can keep what we have, and if he purchases the one big generator, can we still be able to keep the 2 that are working, to where if we have to have them, at least we can have them hooked up on life safety, where at least just the life safety equipment will run for the jail, which will satisfy the jail commission standards.
Yeah, we would not
Okay.
get rid of the ones we
Yeah,
have.
I mean, that's what was worrying me, because it just said generator.
No. No, this is like a whole new generator system, but we would still have to have minimum backup.
Okay.
But each one would carry the whole jail,
This one,
even the backup.
well, backup would come on if that was going.
Just back up,
But it would carry the
but it
whole
would
jail.
carry enough to
Yeah.
get them by.
Yeah.
The backups it would just basically carry the life safety, which would be, emergency lights.
And water.
Some of the emergency plugs, kitchen equipment, and then the booking area and medical. And that's just the life safety things that the state requires that we have to have. And that would also make sure that the cameras and doors are operational.
Yeah, you don't want those doors all open either.
So those 2 generators, 2 of those generators should certainly operate, because actually one of them takes care of it, so 2 of them should certainly suffice for that need.
And the thing is at this point, we want it in our capital projections, right? Because that gives us the flexibility, we don't necessarily have to issue that, but that is at least in the budget.
We have that option.
Yes, sir. We're trying to keep our options open to make sure that the jail is covered. So that's a change in the budgeting. And then the county clerk has made a request for land records and filing cabinets and cabinetry. And so that's been added. That would be at the new location. Okay. So now.
What page?
Flip on to page 10. And that's where you're gonna see the discretionary salary pool. Right now, the discretionary salary pool has been modified and it's at $315,000. We're gonna come back to that. Okay, and then the other change. Capital expenses, you don't have, you have some minimal changes there. You do have the election security grant, that's every other year, the $8,500. And so that's been added to the county clerk budget as well. And speaking of the county clerk, she is currently at an elections workshop training because the state of Texas changed some of their software and hardware. And so now they are having, I call them panic workshops. So they're having a panic workshop, and she's one of 800 attendees. We can all do the math, there's only 254 counties, but they're having some issues in terms of the election moving forward. So they're trying to resolve some of those issues. Okay, next page where there were some changes is page 19. And there's a request to add approximately $4,800 to Civic Plus. Okay, this is just a review of our longevity pay. When we first, I think I'm skipping all over here. Okay. So when I first came on board, longevity was $60 a year, and you capped out at $1,200. Needless to say, that's not a whole lot of money. So we went through and we modified our longevity with the court's approval. So we got in May of 2022, we adopted a new longevity structure, and so I placed that in front of you all so you can review it. And then we also attached the FY 2025 adopted budget. Now, keep in mind that some of these people have moved or retired or whatever, but it gives you an idea of how the longevity works. So the longevity as it currently stands, years 2 through 4, you receive $500. You receive that payment on the month that you were hired. So it's not in the paycheck anywhere, it is, you are handed a check. And then for years 5 through 9, we double it to $1,000. So again, on their anniversary date, they receive $1,000. Years 10 through 14, they receive $2,000. Years 15 through 19, it goes to $2,500. Years 20 through 24, $3,000. 25 to 29, $3,500. And year 30 plus is $4,000 on the anniversary. So obviously, since the money doubles from 500 to 1,000, and then from 1,000 to 2,000, then to some degree, this is a enticement, I guess, or an ability to provide more pay to those employees that stay with the county. So then if you look on the FY 2025 adopted budget, and immediately you can see Jay Burks, the second name, has retired after this budget, the 2025 budget was adopted. And so that shows you the number of people and who is receiving these longevity payments and what amount. So that is, bless you.
Thank you.
That is one of the benefits that is included in this budget. And we are still well within the projections, right, of that continuing to be an affordable benefit for our employees. Partly what it does is that it rewards long-term service, but it also keeps things consistent. But we wanted to make sure that the lower paid employees, or the newer employees, not necessarily lower paid employees, but that the newer employees also were able to benefit. That was the logic from the court at that time. Okay. Okay, let me back up, and I'm going to go ahead and get approval for the capital purchase projection listing. Can I have a motion to approve the projection?
So moved.
Commissioner Purvis? Second,
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up discussing the pay scale and longevity, and then we'll back up to number 24, if that's okay with the court. Okay. Okay, let me pass those down to you all. And this is also basically informational and budgetary information. Okay, if you will look at this budget information, what we did was we took all the departments that are in the general fund and then road and bridge. Because the general fund contains basically all of us, and road and bridge, each of you have your own general fund. So part of why we make every effort to provide additional monies to people in the general fund general fund does not have the same kind of flexibility that the commissioners do. So if you look at the data that we provided to you, if you break it off at step 8, which is the middle of our pay scale. Our pay scale has 16 steps. So if you break it down and you take the information from step 1 to step 8, and then from step 9 to step 16. In the general fund, which is all of us in here, 93% of the employees, this does not include elected officials, it does not include any of the DA's staff because they are unclassified, it doesn't include the auditor's office, it doesn't include any of those. So basically 93% of the employees in the general fund are somewhere between step 1 and step 8. And 6.6% of the employees in the general fund are at steps 9 through 16. With road and bridge, not quite 44% are at steps 1 through 8. And 56% are on steps 9 through 16. Now, having said that, road and bridge, if you look at the longevity, as part of why I gave y'all the longevity, if you look at the longevity, road and bridge has some long-term employees. Whereas the rest of us have more turnover. But also, there's the funding source is not available to general fund the way that it's more available or more possible with road and bridge. So that's just the information. So it does not include unclassified, the auditor, the DA, but it does include the sheriff, the jail, and every other elected official. Okay. So this budget includes the $3,000 across the board. And then what we did was we pulled some examples, and I did ask Carrie to pull some examples of people that were receiving some of the other benefits that are provided by the county. So, here's what we have. You all are gonna look at those as you go along. You have the information. Don't let it fall on you then.
No.
Okay, so let me go through some of this with you all. So if you look at employee number 1, employee number 1 is at pay grade 108, step 1. It's on your paper. Their salary is $35,569. The cost to the taxpayers is $57,081. Employee number 1 receives $1,000 in longevity pay, $5,317 in retirement, and so that their actual total compensation is $54,130 and change, right? This person, this employee number 2, is on pay grade 107, step 6. This is their paycheck per se. This is their salary, I guess I should say. It's not their paycheck, it's their salary. But the total cost to the taxpayers is $61,108. Because that person has $2,000 in longevity and has $5,797.97 in retirement. Keep in mind that the county pays 250% matching on retirement. This next person is pay grade 112, step 10. And that individual, that is what their salary is, but they receive $3,500 in longevity, $7,913 in retirement, so the total cost to the taxpayers is almost $79,000. This next person is at step 112 on the pay scale. Step 12, their salary is $53,207, but the total cost to the taxpayers is over $81,000. Because that person has $3,000 in longevity pay and $8,172 in retirement. Okay, this person, 215,800, here's their salary, here's their total cost. Because they receive certificate pay for $1,800, longevity pay for $2,000, and their retirement is $8,882. That's for this person. This person is at step 116, step 12, that's their salary, and this is the total. Again, they have $3,500 in longevity and $9,724 in retirement. Same thing right here. This person is in pay group 115, step 16. Their salary is $66,345, and their cost to the taxpayers is going to be $97,000. Because that person has $2,500 in longevity, $450 in uniforms and clothing, and their retirement is $10,075. Next one, 219, step 8, that's the salary, that's the total cost to the taxpayers. Certificate pay, longevity, retirement, $10,651. This person is at 119, step 15, that's the total salary, that's the total cost to the taxpayers. So anybody that doesn't think that we have good retirement and that we have good health care benefits is wrong. But this information has to be utilized if you are going to recruit or recruit employees. We are spending over $12,000 a person on insurance, folks. That's a tremendous benefit. So all of these are included in our current budget. That includes the $3,000 increase. Did everybody get one of those? I have a spare here. Yep, we're good. Okay, any questions about our current salary scale? Okay, let's talk about this pay scale. This is our current pay scale. So on every one of these steps, every one of these job numbers, the entire pay scale, the whole thing will go up $3,000. Across the board, $3,000 increase. So, currently, our step 1 person, the absolute lowest paid possible, we may not even have anyone in that pay group, but is at $28,543. So that entire 105, all the way down to 222, is going to slide up by $3,000. That's what's in this new budget. pay scale is set up according to levels of responsibility, to how many individuals they supervise, all kinds of things, and specific skills as well. Okay, so it's not arbitrary. So if you are at step 117, let's take 117. 117 is generally countywide responsibilities. They have to answer to the entire county. They're responsible for everything and everybody. Whereas your 115, 114s or below are either precinct or they have lesser responsibilities. Your law enforcement people, the ones that are in the 220s, 219, that's because they have a really high level of responsibility. They have to be available 24/7. And the job, because the job has to follow the Federal Labor Standards Act, the job has to match what they do. So these are not arbitrary classifications. We hired someone to come in and do a study to look at every single job, compare everything to the surrounding area and to other agencies, and see what made sense for us. Now, we still have a few years left on the current salary. We have made some modifications. If the job description was different, then yes, we made modifications to fit that. And then when SB 22 came out, we created a whole different pay group to make sure we included SB 22 in our pay scale. So that's your 200 levels. Your 200 levels are your law enforcement levels. But it's not an arbitrary decision. If the court wishes, then we can certainly move forward with another salary survey, if that's what you wanna do. But at the last count, and on all of these, we have tried to stay as current as we possibly could, all the way around.
Well, the last one we had was what, about 8 years ago?
2018, 19.
2018, 2019.
Something like that, I don't remember.
Yes, sir. Yes, and they're supposed to basically be stable enough for 10 years. So in 2028, we were planning to move forward on doing another salary survey if that is what the court wanted. Now, if what you all want is for us to go ahead and spend the money now, it can't happen now because we don't have the money right now. But if what you want is for us to budget to have another salary survey done, then you need to be prepared to commit $60,000 or more to a salary survey. So y'all just need to let me know.
Probably wouldn't hurt much changed since 2018.
Absolutely it has.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely it has, and I don't have
it's
a
actually
problem
the whole
with
world, everything's went up.
Everything has.
Maybe we should do one.
that. Everything has. And that has been part of why, if you will recall, when we realized that in the inflation rate, right, had gone so high, that's when we came in and gave every employee
Yeah. Well, I
a
understand,
huge
but
raise, and so we
I
wanna
might disagree
continue that.
with It would help if they would put them positions the same number as this deal here.
The 200s up into the 100s?
No. All these job classifications, you gotta go back through all them books and find the job classification, then you gotta compare it to a different number for these things. Won't they all just make them the same? For all the jobs in
Oh, all the jobs they are exactly the way that they told us, like,
but they don't correlate to these.
yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure they do, Shane.
The positions.
The positions correlate to the,
Yes.
yes, they do.
Yes, so, the
Maybe
job
I'm looking
code
at it
that's
wrong.
listed on there, so if they're a 1025, whatever that is, the job description then says that they're in a 117 pay
Pay
grade.
group, yeah.
So they're on the formal job descriptions.
Yeah, the job description would be a
That-
140 and then but the pay group's a 112 or
No.
something. I mean,
No, sir. That's where we need to
You're
go through
thinking,
that.
you're talking about the number on the job position.
Their numbers correlate to that.
Yes, sir.
You
Yeah,
make
it
it over
doesn't
number
say
of
140, Human Resources Director, and you're paid out of the 140 pay group. Those
No.
don't line up that way.
No,
No,
they
sir.
don't. Yeah.
No, sir.
Well, then if that's something we need to correct,
I
we
mean,
need
I
to
don't know if
correct
it can be, I don't know, it's simplified for a simple mind like mine, you know?
Well, I just know that what I look at says, the title and then it says pay group 116 or 117 or whatever. But if that's something that we need to correct.
I don't know, y'all,
That's-
it's just,
That, the number that we have next to the title is the classification code
Yeah.
that we need for workers' comp. So if there are certain codes based on a position that deal with workers' compensation and how they're classified by the federal government. So we use
Okay.
those numbers.
so we
next
can't make
those
us correlate to
positions.
these numbers.
And they wouldn't ever correlate.
Well,
Plus that workers'
They
comp.
refuse.
So what's that idea?
Well, the workers' comp is also, you know, when the federal government makes changes, then we have to comply with those. And so that's part of it, is trying to track that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Commissioner Dubos, I received your email about allocating, and we don't have to make a decision today exactly what you'll want to do with the discretionary funds. We did, and I've had some questions about the TRA contract, and we went through to see if there were some other options there as well. But there were not, and so the TRA contract will stay as it is. And Sheriff Lyons sent, did this go to everybody or just to us? So that's a letter from Sheriff Lyons requesting that the TRA contract remain as it is. The total amount of that contract is $500,000. And that at this time, the payments go directly to those individuals that work that position, those positions as a second job. And then here is the other information that was requested, which gives you the budgeted salaries and the TRA wages for the last 5 years. I've got more papers down around here. Okay, so at this time, the discretionary funds that are available, we cannot consider the TRA contract as being part of the discretionary funds. So the discretionary funds that are available, the request from Commissioner Dubos, or recommendations, I should say, was to allocate 75% of this year's discretionary funds to the sheriff's office discretionary budget. So that's something you'll need to think about. The discretionary funds that are available are in this budget, and that will remain there. What I do need to know, after you'll review this information, what I do need to know is how you will wish to proceed with the discretionary funds. And then the other recommendation from Commissioner Dubos was to use the general fund to support the requested pay raises and establish a long-term sustainability plan. Annual cost of living adjustments should be built into future budgets to maintain competitiveness. The general fund can be replenished over time through unused year-end budget surpluses, unexpected revenue increases, and careful financial planning. So we have discussed that before, so what were your ideas on that?
Well, my ideas is the discretionary funds, and I'm not talking about the 300 now. I'm talking about the discretionary funds that was in the last budget, it's 285
Mhm.
to be dispersed.
75%
To the
to
sheriff's
the
office,
sheriff's
for the
office.
jail.
Okay. Okay, you don't have the authority to tell him where he would put it.
Well, I know that, but, I mean, to the sheriff's office, but,
Okay,
I mean, I know he's already, that was his thing.
okay. So, but then you wanna pull from the general fund for pay raises.
Well, they're already getting the 3,000, the 3,000,
Yeah, and you, I mean, right here you say they're already getting a $3,000 pay adjustment.
right.
And that you, but you still went on to say, use the general fund to support the requested pay raises and establish a long-term sustainability plan. We can't, I guess the reason I'm asking is because we've discussed this several times. By definition, if we use the general fund to balance our budget, then it's not a balanced budget. So we can't say, well, it's a balanced budget, because it's not. We are living beyond our means. And so every year, there's no way for us to say, okay, every single year, we're gonna give a 3% increase, or every single year, because we don't know what our tax revenue is going to be. See, so you can't, that's part of how the court got in so much trouble before, is because they built into this document monies that they did not have in their hands, and that the taxpayers could not support. When the IAH money went away, over $1 million was in this tax document based on a funding source that disappeared. So you can't, if you start taking money out of the general fund to meet those requests, then by definition, it's not a budget, it's not a balanced budget. Because it doesn't match your funding source. The other thing that happens, and this did happen with this court, was they did that several times, and then we ended up with a B bond rating, which means that it costs us a whole lot more money to meet our capital projections obligation. If you look at our capital projections, which I don't think we included in this book, those notes are like at 2.1%, 1.85. So we cannot afford that, and that's why I'm trying to get you to explain to me what exactly you want us to look at.
I'm not a real budget smart person, so, of course, I'm not gonna be a budget officer, so, but I'm just, my thing is, we have the money in the general fund, okay? So, if we give them 75% of the discretionary funds and stuff, there's money in the general fund, if needed, to balance that out.
Well, once you spend it on personnel, it's not like buying a car. It doesn't go away next year. Once you spend it on personnel, you have obligated
But we're
yourself to
still
continue.
we're still spending over $100,000 out of state and stuff. I mean,
Okay,
it's-
that's another discussion. I'm just trying to focus on what,
It's still
on
part
the
of the
general
budget.
fund.
I mean, it's still part of the budget. If
And
we
all-
give these jailers more money, we keep it here instead of sending it out.
Well, we cannot take it out of the general fund. That is very, very bad business. And we've learned our lesson. What's the saying? Those who do not study history are bound to repeat it. And we don't want to get back in that. No, you can donate some of your money.
If I have to donate, I'll donate to it. I'll
You can
donate.
donate some of your money to the sheriff. How many people do you have up there on that step 14? Or 16 or 18? But my point is.
Well, I gave one of them to Jerry Wayne, he took most of it.
Oh, well. My point is that that's not sustainable. You cannot balance with your general fund. And so what we have always done is at the end of the year, when we had those additional monies, then that's when we've gone through and given money to Road and Bridge or given money in other areas, right, to improve services. But we do not expend that money or put it out until we have it in our hand. Because you can't, if that is not, it's not a guaranteed source of income.
I'm not in favor of pulling it to the fund. Because I understand what you're saying. Once you commit to that pay, you're committed to it.
Forever.
But I do understand, and I do believe, and I'm speaking of the jailers, not the deputies. I do believe that crime is a continuous deal. It grows every year. It's not gonna get any better.
No, it's not.
And we are wasting a lot of money to the state of Louisiana, and we've got to figure out a way to get the jailers some more money to where we can jail inmates here. But I'm not in favor of general fund. Pull it from now, just tell them.
Well,
And too late this year, Bob, but between now and then, it's gotta be worked on.
And
It's
that's-
crazy paying the state of Louisiana what we're paying.
that's why you need to think about what your recommendation is going to be to the court in terms of those discretionary funds. Now, keep in mind, you also have a district attorney that's struggling for staffing, right?
No, district attorney has always been told to stay in your own lane, but I'm gonna stay out and I'll step out right here. I cannot do my job if law enforcement doesn't have officers to arrest. And I'm sorry, but if I go stand in line at the tax office or the district clerk, and I am not picking on any of them, I can wait long enough if I need to come back tomorrow because you can't copy my divorce decree. But if I call 911 and they say, well, hold on, we only have 3 officers, I can't wait. So
And we're not
this
knocking
budget
that.
needs to look at the fact that if we don't have officers because they're going to LPD or they're going to Walker County or somewhere else, folks, it doesn't really matter how many people I have because I don't have any officers to arrest anybody to solve the crimes for me to take to court.
And
Now,
we're
if I'm short a prosecutor, which I am, and I have been working short prosecutors the whole time, and we are still making progress. I didn't get on the agenda
Okay,
today.
Shelley, no, and that's fine, this is a workshop,
I know.
you're free to comment.
But-
But let me back you up a minute. So Tatum doesn't have good people and they can't really add up, so now our collections go down or they go away. Now we can't even pay those officers. It's not a one-stop shop.
It's not, and so the court needs to consider that pay study, but the problem that and I understand we're trying to do a balanced budget, but if I understood, we've got capital purchases that maybe historically we spread out over 2 or 3 years by taking them on notes and paying them over 3 years, but our capital budget, and maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Yes, you are, because that is debt. We are
Right,
incurring
but-
debt.
So instead of incurring debt, we're trying to pay 100% for a capital improvement where payroll, we would have to pay. But there are some capital improvements in our budget this year that we could finance over 2
They're
or
all
3 year period.
finance. Capital improvement is all finance. That is all debt. Everything listed on there is debt. We have over $2 million listed on debt alone. Where's that debt sheet? Well, almost 2 million. $1,778,753 is debt. But everything on here is debt. The capital projection is all debt. And that's why, and we were able in previous years to go through and have no issue, but we are still paying in 2022, we had $5,875,000 worth of debt. So we're still paying debt. It's capital projections.
a bus for the sheriff's office, or is this budget anticipating paying for the full bus in this budget, or is it financing it?
It's financing everything. Everything that is on capital outlay is financed. That's why it's called a capital purchase projection, because we are going to incur debt. Now that what we do is we are able to get the money, okay, we're able to negotiate for terms and conditions ahead of time, but that's why we do not incur debt after we've gone into the budget year. Because then we're not able to negotiate based on volume, just like anything else, right? We're not able to negotiate some better rates. So everything that's listed on the capital projections is debt. Everything we're agreeing to right here is potential debt. Let me rephrase that. If we find a bus, okay, if we find a bus for less than that, well, then we are certainly gonna let him purchase it, and it will go on the capital projections, but it will come in under the $350. But capital projections is all debt, every last bit of it. So you all need to think about, again, I'm not asking for a vote, but you need to think about, because we are going to have to vote on what you want to do with those discretionary monies. And it does not impact you all's payroll directly, right? Because you have your own funds, but it does impact the sheriff, the jail, HR, IT, the clerks, it impacts everybody else on what you decide to do with those discretionary funds. Mills, I can see you thinking.
Mark's talking about 285,000 in 2025, 315 in 2026. So apparently nobody used their money in
No, no.
2025?
No.
On the last.
The last budget
Budget
discussion.
meeting, it was $285,000.
Oh, okay.
Discretionary fund.
Yeah.
I was-
Now it's 315,000.
Yes, because of
So I'm
the,
saying how you stick with the 75% of the $285,000.
Okay, I wasn't here for this one.
yeah, no, that's from the changing the collection rate to 97.5.
Okay.
Then that allowed us to tweak the budget down there. And as long as Tatum is comfortable with that, then I'm comfortable with that. And based on what Linebarger has provided us, the collection rates have been around the 98%, and some years 99%. And so we're comfortable with that. So that's where we were able to add more money to the budget. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn,
We
Commissioner.
still have one more
Perkins.
agenda item to vote on.
Oh, I sure do, hold on. We skipped one and we're coming back. Sorry, Sheriff, we almost left you off. Okay, item number 24, backing up. Consider request for capital purchase of 20 handheld radios from L3 Harris for the jail in the amount of $35,394 to be paid from general fund balance and included on the FY 2026 reimbursement resolution for year-end issuance of legally authorized debt. The copy of the request was included for your review. We placed it on the capital projections that was included here. And Captain Dawson has requested an updated proposal from L3 Harris, and a copy of that proposal is included for your review. So we would like to proceed. Never mind, I already got you, because you already voted on capital projections. So now let's just approve this one.
So moved.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy. What time is it now?
11:36.
Thank you.